Not every shine is light. Some only reflect vanity. They shine bright but burn out fast. Others, more discreet, illuminate without drawing attention. They are silent but essential. We live in a world that worships noise, the loudest voice, the one who stands out, the person center stage. But true respect doesn't come from volume. It comes from the quiet presence of someone who delivers day after day without needing to be seen. What you're about to hear isn't just the story of an actor. It's the story of someone who learned, a little too late, that the person who makes you shine isn't always standing in front of you. Sometimes they're standing behind you. And it's only when that person is gone that you finally understand the difference between shining and just showing up.
No one applauds the light. The audience cheers for the actor, for the emotion, for the impact of the scene. But almost no one looks up to the source that makes it all possible. Behind every great show, there's someone in the shadows who never steps on stage. But without them, the stage wouldn't even exist. This is the story of one of those men, an artist of the shadows, and the price you pay when you ignore the one who makes you shine. Daniel had been in love with theater since childhood, but not with the stage. What enchanted him was something else: the shimmer on the red curtain, the beams of light dancing in the air, the silence filled with golden and blue tones. And there was one actor, just one. To Daniel, this actor seemed larger than life, charismatic, intense, celebrated, his idol. Years later, that shy boy became one of the most talented lighting designers of his generation. He crafted atmospheres like someone painting emotions with light. And one day, the universe smiled at him. He got the chance to light the stage for the very actor he had always admired. To him, it wasn't just a job. It was a dream. His mission was simple: make that actor shine even brighter. And he did. With each performance, the audience's reaction changed, more intense, more captivated. Critics started pointing out the unexplainable magnetism of the scenes. Magazines flooded with invitations. The actor was at his peak. But while the world applauded, the actor ignored it all. Vain and self-absorbed, the actor barely greeted the crew. He never looked into the eyes of the one who made him appear almost divine on stage. And Daniel, who started so enthusiastic, slowly dimmed inside. He felt invisible. He didn't want fame or awards. He just wanted to be acknowledged by the one who had once been his biggest reason to dream. His wife noticed the emotional weight he was carrying. She suggested a break. He resisted, but eventually he agreed. And then he left, silently. They brought in a replacement, a skilled, technical professional, but without the same love that Daniel had. And that's when something strange began to happen.
The performances went on. Same script, same set. The actor was still shining, or at least trying to. But something had changed. It was subtle, almost invisible to the naked eye, but the audience could feel it. The applause grew shorter, the comments less enthusiastic. Magazine invites started to fade. Some colleagues said, "I can't explain it. Your performances used to have a different kind of life." That started to bother him. In his mind, he hadn't changed. Same lines, same effort. So why did it feel like something was missing? One lonely night, he decided to rewatch old footage of his plays. And there, in the contrast between past and present, he saw it. Before, there was magic. The shadows had depth. The light carried emotion. Every gesture he made was amplified by an almost mystical atmosphere. Now, everything felt flat, artificial, hollow. That's when he asked, who did the lighting back then? The answer was direct. It was Daniel, one of the best, but he left a few months ago. The name sounded unfamiliar. He had never asked who was behind the light that made him shine. Curious, or maybe moved by a new discomfort, he decided to find him. After many calls and messages, someone finally gave him a clue. He moved to a nearby town, about 40 minutes from here. Without hesitation, he got in the car. He wanted to say thank you. He wanted to understand. Deep down, maybe he wanted to ease a weight he was just now beginning to recognize. But when he arrived at the modest house in the countryside, he was greeted by a woman with kind, sorrowful eyes. It was Daniel's wife, and one sentence silenced everything inside him. He passed away 2 weeks ago. It was sudden, and he was your biggest fan. She invited him in, showed him letters, newspaper clippings, notes. Daniel had collected every good review, every stage photo, every mention of the actor's name. He dreamed of helping you shine, and he did. But you never noticed. The actor sat down on the couch, speechless. For the first time, the man who had always stood in the spotlight felt the weight of being in the shadows. He left that house with a knot in his throat. The drive back felt longer. This time, there was no music in the car. No rush, no thrill, just silence. The same silence Daniel had worked in for years, and now it felt deafening. The whole way home, one question kept echoing in his mind. How many times was he just a few feet away from me, waiting for nothing but a glance? It was too late to thank him, too late to acknowledge him, but not too late to learn. And that's where his transformation began. Not the kind you say out loud like so many empty apologies, but the kind that starts from within. A silent, steady, and lasting shift. He began learning every team member's name. He got to know their faces, their stories. With every new play, he made sure to remember who shaped the light, who tuned the sound, who stitched the costumes. And most importantly, he learned to respect the silence of the backstage art world, because he finally understood a truth he had never seen in the dressing room mirrors. The kind of shine that impresses fades, but the kind of shine that touches people, there's always someone behind the scenes in the art world contributing to that as well. From that day on, the actor never stepped on stage the same way again. It was no longer about being the center of attention. It became about honoring those who, even in the shadows, held every detail of what the audience saw. And maybe that's the greatest lesson in this story, because most people want to shine, but few truly understand what that means. Lesson 1. Those who truly shine see the invisible. Daniel never needed applause. All he wanted was to be part of the journey of someone he admired. And yet, he went unnoticed. How many times in life do you ignore the ones helping behind the scenes? Parents, teachers, coworkers, quiet friends, people who don't appear in the pictures but are there, holding you up from behind. Real shine begins with gratitude, because if you don't value the hands that hold you, one day you'll learn what it means to fall alone. Lesson 2. Noise isn't power. It's disguised insecurity. For years, the actor spoke loudly, demanded attention, made noise. But what truly sustained his presence on stage was Daniel's quiet love for the craft and his admiration for the actor, turning his lighting into something precise, calm, and invisible. True respect isn't built with fame and success. It's earned through humility. If you feel the need to constantly show off just to be seen, maybe you don't yet trust what you truly have to offer. Lesson 3. The stage is big enough for everyone to shine. The light Daniel cast was never about himself. It was always for someone else. And ironically, he shined more than many who stood center stage. That's the difference between wanting to be famous and wanting to be memorable. When you understand that sharing the spotlight doesn't dim your light, it multiplies it, you start building something greater than vanity. You build a legacy. Daniel passed without ever being noticed by his greatest idol. And yet, he left behind a legacy that changed the way that man saw the world and himself. We won't always get the chance to go back. The person who helped us get here might not always be around to hear a simple thank you. That's why the greatest wisdom isn't just learning from your mistakes, but learning before they happen. Today, someone might be helping you shine in silence, asking for nothing. Someone holding you up from the backstage, believing in you even when you don't believe in yourself. Can you think of who that person might be? Don't wait until the final curtain to realize who lit your path. Thank them today. Acknowledge them today. Value them now, because the world is full of noise, but short on gratitude. And in the end, what will remain isn't how much you were seen, but how many lights you helped shine along with your own. If this story touched you, take a deep breath and share it with someone who's helped you shine. Like, comment, subscribe, but more importantly, make sure this message reaches someone who truly needs to hear it. Because sometimes the greatest gift we can give someone is simply recognizing the role they played in our story.